recap, we have 3 Porsches from the FLY company tuned with high-power motors, aluminum wheels and transmission. And, on the other side, we have 2 Ferraris from the Slot.it company. They're in stock condition. They remove their magnets and count on some cleverly installed ballast to beat the Porsches. So, what do you think?
For the second time in a row, Porsche achieved the double at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. It's a way to end on a high-note career of these 917 models in a world championship, off which they will be expelled next year being guilty of monstrous deviationism. No more 5 liters. No more monsters. It is likely that Porsche will not be at the start in 72 because the engineer Porsche was not keen to build a car according to the new CSL regulations, which impose a minimum weight of 600 kilograms in 3 liters. Engineers of Porsche may not be engine manufacturers of exceptional strength. They score points on the general conception of the car and especially on lightness. This is frowned upon at this time when one considers security as a great deal. Consequently, this weight limitation that Porsche considers excessive and the probable Porsche abstention in Le Mans will get them focused on Can-Am next year.
La grille de départ a été établie d'après les temps aux essais. La plus rapide a été la Porsche 917 de Rodriguez et Oliver, l'un et l'autre victorieux au Mans, Rodriguez en 68 avec Lucien Bianchi, Oliver en 69 avec Jackie X. Ils ont tourné à 250 de moyenne. En deuxième ligne, la Ferrari de Hobbs et Donoghue, 244 aux essais, et devant elle, en première ligne, avec la 18, la 21. Une autre Porsche 917, celle de Larousse et Elford, 248 aux essais.
A lot was expected of the Porsches with their long spins. In pure performance, they did not deceive. However, none of them does appear at the end. They have certainly been eliminated for reasons that have nothing to do with the form of the bodywork, but nevertheless, there is reason to think that it aggravates the technical constraints sufficiently to threaten the endurance of these cars. It is thus possible to put finger on a different problem posed by very profile-y cars, a problem that still remains to be solved and will require a lot of time and spendings. Le Mans being the only circuit of this type with a long straight, it remains to be seen how many manufacturers will be willing to make cars for a single race, or to field normal cars against the Le Mans specialized cars of others.
Hi, I'm Kenzo and I will tell you about those slot car models participating in our Le Mans 1971 rendition. Let's start with the FLY Zitro Racing Team Porsche 917. The Sidewinder configuration aft axle has been fitted with the NSR 38T gear and NSR 21.5K motor replaces the original Mabuchi. This new power unit delivers 164 gram-centimeter torque and reaches a maximum speed of 21,900 rpm. With this setup, maximum torque has been increased a lot compared to the FLY car in its stock condition, plus 64% from the NSR motor and plus 13% from the gear ratio. Lubrication of the transmission and of the bearings is done. The rear axle assembly is rather tight. As a result, a long brake-in is applied at 8V, 10V, 12V with short peaks of 14V. You can see behind me the FLY Zitro Porsche on the Kelvin test bench. The Porsche FLY as prepared achieves a fully equipped chassis weight of 59.3 grams for a total weight which reaches 90.2 grams. Almost 9 grams more than the Ferrari 512S you've seen in the 70s sport car's previous video from Little Bear. The Porsche is also tuned with approximately 4 gram ballast at the level of the guide and the same aluminum wheels from Staffs UK. Now we have the number 21 Porsche as driven by Vic Elfard and Gerard Larousse during the race. This one has been built with a combination of a resin kit purchased in a Circuits Routiers fair, most probably a Prot Slot Kit 1, and a FLY Porsche 917 chassis fitted with a Slot Devo 2024-3 motor delivering a torque of 160 gram-centimeters at 12 volts and reaching a maximum speed of 24,000 rpm. Transmission is a Sidewinder with a Slot.it PS11 including a 36-teeth crown gear. Wheels are from Staffs UK and the tires are the Slot Customized HM2, same as the Zitro Porsche.
Quant à la Porsche 917 de Vic Elford et Gérard Larousse, elle a elle aussi mangé son pain blanc le premier. Pour l'instant, elle est dans le peloton de tête à plus de 230 de moyenne. Hélas, à 21h12, elle refusera d'aller plus loin.
Okay, and so now I will tell you about the third Porsche we have prepared for this Le Mans 1971 race rendition. This is the FLY slot car model of the Winnie Martini racing car driven by Marco and Lenop. Changes applied to the stock C51 model from FLY. First, the motor with the Mabuchi retrofit with a scale auto capable of 25,000 rpm and a maximum torque of 225 gram-centimeters at 12 volts. The major interest of this replacement of the FLY transmission by an NSR transmission is in removing the backlash in the FLY transmission. This is something that applies to most early FLY models and greatly improves handling. Transmission is a NSR 12X38, wheels are Staffs UK 0313 fitted with Slot Customized HM2 tires. The plastic bearings of the FLY transmission are maintained as the last metal bearings available are too large in diameter and tighten the transmission.
Try to summarize what we learned during the Slot.it Ferrari Tuning Day session we did on June 8th last year. Let's be precise, as the results we got are really outstanding.
Hi, I'm Vincent, in charge of classic Ferraris at Little Bear Slots. We have now two Slot.it 512M model Ferraris. The red one is coming from Circuits de Legende and was purchased in April last year. The yellow one is coming from Slot Car Union and was purchased shortly after. We did most of the tuning on the red one and applied the same on the other one. In its configuration out of the box with magnet, the Slot.it Ferrari was much too glued to the track and the lap times went crazy, 6.122 seconds on the number 1 lane and 6.065 seconds on the number 2 lane, 1.230 second faster than the Lola T70 from FLY, which had held the track record since May 11th. The decision was quickly made to remove the magnet for a back-to-back comparison with and without, all things equal elsewhere. The tests took place on lane number 2 and the best lap time was 8.149 seconds, just 2 seconds worse than with magnet. We are getting closer to the usual lap times of the FLY Classics, 0.854 seconds slower than the record of the Lola T70, now. Then we tested with ballast. The chassis weighed 56.7 grams, which is 6.1 grams heavier than out of the box. The car improved its times, 7.791 seconds, then 7.750. This is only 0.2 behind the Lola. It is stable everywhere around the track, and loosening the screws to adjust the front axle adjustment, there are no more D-slot problems in the descent of the hump bridges and in the SEs as we had before.
So, we managed to run the Slot.it Ferraris as fast as the FLY Porsches without magnet attraction. That's right. Thanks to their superior chassis and lighter weight.
Indeed. I put this little table together for you to show to the boss. The only Porsche which has a more powerful motor is the 917K from Martini Racing, but it is 15 grams heavier than the Slot.it Ferraris.
a peine baissé, 232 à l'heure. À dire vrai, beaucoup s'en désintéressent provisoirement, ceux qui se sont rabattus sur le village où la fête bat son plein. Les seuls mécontents sont les marchands de rafraîchissement, la limonade se vend mal, alors qu'il y aurait des fortunes à faire dans le grog et les marrons chauds.
The night is ideal, not a drop of rain, perfect visibility throughout the circuit. If the public did not turn out en masse, many of those who came will take advantage of those perfect conditions to spend the night and witness two dramatic turns that will profoundly change the general classification. It was supposed to start shortly after 3 o'clock. Jackie Oliver stops at his stand. As with Siffert at the beginning of the evening, his left rear hub bearing has just failed and his mechanics have just failed to repair. They will change the entire hub carrier in almost half an hour. But 2 minutes had not elapsed before Richard Atwood also stopped, fifth gear sprocket broken. The 917K was immobilized for more than half an hour. To everyone's surprise, it was the Ferrari 512M of Juncadella and Vaccarella that was in the lead at the halfway point of the race, ahead of the Porsche of Marco and Van Lennep.
Les deux Porsche 18 et 19 devancent la Ferrari numéro 15, les deux Porsche numéro 22 et 23, puis la Matra Simca numéro 30, 6e, à 8 tours des leaders Rodriguez et Oliver. En 10 heures, 2300 km ont déjà été parcourus par la Porsche numéro 18, 2275 par la 19. Avantage donc aux voitures de John Wyer, mais pour combien de temps encore? Aux premières lueurs de l'aube, rien ne va plus en effet pour les trois Porsche bleu et orange. La 18 va abandonner, rupture de canalisation d'huile. La 19 se retrouve reléguée à 8 tours et la 17 dégringole en 10e position à 23 tours. En tête, la 22 toujours, l'une des trois Porsche 917 du Martini Racing Team. À son volant tour à tour, Helmut Marko, l'Autrichien, et Guy Van Lennep, le Hollandais. Ils ont scrupuleusement suivi leur tableau de marche. La régularité va toujours finir par payer au Mans. Les voilà donc au commandement à 222 km/h de moyenne.
Autre équipage homogène, également sur Ferrari, Vaccarella l'italien et Juncadella l'espagnol. Homogène et efficace. Au cours de la nuit, ils vont effectuer une remontée qui va les porter sur le coup de 4 heures du matin à la première place à la distance. Malheureusement, 35 minutes plus tard, ce sera la panne définitive. La 22 par contre n'a aucun problème. Toutes les 50 minutes, elle revient faire le plein, un peu plus ou un peu moins d'une minute, suivant les vérifications, et elle repart. La Porsche 911S de Cobb et Muller se classera 10e à la distance. La Ferrari 512 de Kraft et Wyer, 4e à la distance. Kraft arrive, Wyer va prendre le volant. David Piper leur a fait confiance, il n'a pas à le regretter. C'est énorme quand tout va bien, c'est très peu dès que les ennuis commencent. Mais tout va bien pour Marco et Van Lennep, la Porsche tourne rond, et le record de distance de 67, record établi pourtant avant la construction de la chicane Ford, le record de Don Gurney est sérieusement menacé.
Chris Amon takes over and stops to change the lighting panel without any improvement. New stop to change the candle ramp. It is slightly better, but alas, a few more laps later, Mulsanne phoned. The Matra had stopped. Slimmed down of all his efforts, Amon was forced to abandon.
Now, I have to tell you about the test session results. Porsche is still ahead. The Martini Porsche did the best lap time at 6.576 seconds on lane 2, which is to date the track record. The Zetro is close at 6,728 seconds. They both are quicker than the Lola T70. You remember it lapped at 7,295 seconds on lane 2. The fastest Ferrari is the Montjuïc Scuderia 1, lapping on lane 2 at 7,621 seconds. The David Piper is behind, at 8,044 seconds on lane 3. What's striking is that in terms of consistency, the Ferraris are on par. They did 37 laps effortlessly in a 5 minutes run, where the Martini Porsche is struggling around 33. Seems like the Zetro is the best balance for a long run. She covered 41 laps in a 5 minutes run.
The Porsche of the Martini team not only won the overall ranking, but also the Performance Index won, a ranking that it had long been disputing with the Matra, which was excellent until his injection failure, which caused consternation in the ranks of the French supporters.